Hey kids, how you all doing? What's up, Wing Chun? How are you doing? Nice of you to join. What's up, Losh? What's up, Casey? I'm glad you could join. Hey, Sal. How are you doing? You hope Wordle will be nicer to me today? Oh my god. Yeah, so last week, Wordle was not nice. What's up, Sunnyside? How's it going? Hey, Rude Noise. Yeah. And the day after that, I was playing Wordle also. 2 days in a row. What is up with that? What's up, Nikki? How you doing? Hey, Lady Koi. I'm glad you could join. Was that a first with Wordle? That was a first. My first ever loss. I felt so bad. Yeah. I hate this game. I need to find another game. Oh, Nikki just finished a 2 hour live show. Congratulations. All right. Let's see if Wordle is nice to me today. Oh, hold on. All right, let's do this. Got too confident with the Wordle. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I should stop underestimating it. Okay. All right, I must get this right. There's no way I lose this. There's no way. No way. So I-E-R. Sixer. Sitter. Sitter. Shitter. No, sitter. Simmer. Skier? Skier? No. Shire? Sra. It can't be Sra, right? Sry? Sire. Simmer, siver, sicker, sitter, cider, cider, siler, psycher, psycher, sewer, seer, cure. Hmm. Can we get it in 3 words, guys? I-E. E-I. Sr. This can't be. It must be I-E-R. Is that a word? Slyer? Skier? 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 No. Sneer. Sni. E-I? Oh, maybe R-X-E-I. I-E. Sre. Surreal. Hmm. I-E-R. Sizer. No. Cider. 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 Cyber. Cyber? Cyber. Cyber. Seer. Oh, sire. Skyer. Swire. Squire. Slyer. What? Skyer. Sphere. Stire. Sire. Sire. Snire. Snire. Spire. Sniper. Slyer. Slyer. What is this word? I don't think we can get it in 3. Cider. Cider. That's not a word. That is not a word. Sizer. Sixer. Sixer. Like a fiver? A sixer? What is wrong with me? Sreed. Fried. Sride. Serene. Sereb. Sriel? Shriek. I'm gonna say Cigar. Cider. Sixer. Oh, okay. Sxier. Skyer. Skyer? Swire. Shire. Shire? Slyer. Snire. Spire. Svire. Sire. Sdire. What is this word? Spire. Skyer. Shire. Shire. Like she's shyer than the other person. Shire. Skyer. Slyer. Skyer. Swire. Sire. Is that a word? Swire. Squire. Squeer. Shire. It's ire. Srire? Wait. What is wrong with me? Swire? What is this word? Skyer. Shire. Shire. Like Shire. Oh my god. Wait, what is this word? It seems so simple. Slyer. Sire. 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 Sdire? Spire. Sire. Wait, what am I missing? Guys. Slyer. Skyer. Gyre. Skyer. Spire. Stire. Sire. Skyer. Svire? Snire? Sneer? Spear? What? What is this? I don't know any of these words. Slyer. Skyer. That sounds like a word. Snire. Spire. Svire. Sire. Slyer. Sire. Shire. Skyer? Skier. I can't be the only one. This is not a word. Shire sounded the best. Swire. Squire. I'm just gonna try something then. Skyer. Sire. Sire. Like sire. Is that a word? Skyer. I guess Skyer sounds the next best out of all the options. Ah! Ah! Did anyone get that? Da-da-da-da. Oh, Sal, you did get that. What is a skier? Like skiing? A skier? Isn't a skier? No. A skier has 2 eyes. Am I crazy? Oh my god. It's a skier. Ah. Oh, skiing has 2 eyes. Skier. I bet everyone had this problem. A person who skis. For some reason, I thought skier had 2 eyes, but skiing had 2 eyes. I'm crazy. You're crazy. You're all crazy. That's not a real word. Does skier exist? Oh, see, even Google doesn't know. Look, skier or skier. Skier is incorrect. I mean, just because this website exists, I think a lot of people don't know this. The second I is from ing. I understand. Understood. Understood. All right. Shall we do Samantha? Do I even know English? I don't know how to do this. Skier. Look at that. What a shitty word. -5. I know flyer. I know flying, lying, fly, soar. Shy. What else did we put? What was the other word? Shire. What is shire? Hold on. Yeah, it is. Someone who's shyer than the other person, okay. Driver. Driving. Riding. Alright, let's calm down. Plane. Train. Transit. Public. Oh! Private. Institution. Government. Okay. Work. Facing. Crowd. People. School. Bath. Post. The Shire is a place. Shire. Shire. Wait. Shire. Announcement. Oh! Oh! You know what? Not bad. Okay. Almost failed at Wordle, but Samantha in like 2 minutes. God damn. God damn. Right? Who didn't believe me? Who didn't believe me? Who? Chat. I'm reading. Who's an unbeliever? Oh, it wasn't even 2 minutes. It was 1 minute, 58 seconds. Yeah, what do you say now, Sal? Oh, side duck. You knew it'd be 2 minutes? Malik, you're disappointed. I can go 1 minute. I can go immediate. Which I did. Alright. Skier. That is a weird word. Well, today, kids, what I have for you. So it says roasted soy sauce flavor corn snack. Oh, can you see? Yeah. What's this lady doing? What's she doing, guys? Make it last longer? Why do you want Samantha to last longer? Oh, hey, the little rings. Ooh. Oh, it looks like one of those rice crackers, but it's not. It's corn. Let me see. Woo! That soy sauce, all right. Mm. Mm. The initial taste is very good, but I think it has too much sugar. Yeah, they included way too much sugar in this. Like the first taste, the first bite is like, I taste that roasted soy sauce. But then afterwards, that aftertaste, it's like super sweet. All right, soy sauce puffs. I'm gonna give it a 6. Unfortunately, there's a lot of it. How do I finish it? Oh. Rings just in time for the Shire. All right. All right, see you, Sunnyside. Have a good day. All right, are y'all ready for today's story? Might be a good chapter. We might find out who this Taoist is. All right, so last week, what happened was the daughter of Temujin, her name is Hua Zheng. She tells Guo Jing to come to see this eagle fight. All right, and it's a fight between two groups: a group of white eagles and a group of black eagles. All right, and as they get there, there's a whole crowd there. Okay, including Temujin. Temujin is Genghis Khan. So the kids, they cheer for the white eagles, okay, and they're fighting and they're fighting, and they're like, eagles are fallen, okay, it's an exciting fight. Then the black eagles, they pull this strategic retreat, okay, like the Mongols do. It's actually what the Mongols used to do. So the black eagles pull this strategic retreat, and then they come back to win the battle. All right, and they defeat the white eagles. And then the black eagles, they're flying towards this cliff where two white chicks were at. Eagle chicks. Two white eagle chicks were at. Okay. Hua Zheng is worried for the chicks, and she tells her dad to stop them. Temujin takes a bow and arrow. He lets loose and he kills one black eagle. Okay. Then some other people do it. And finally, Guo Jing does it too. And he lets loose an arrow and he kills two eagles with one arrow. And everyone's super impressed. Yeah, and then Temujin is also impressed, and he asks Guo Jing what he wants as a reward. Okay, he can have anything he wants. And Guo Jing's like, well, I want you to call off that marriage between Hua Zheng and Duxi, the bully. Okay. Yeah, he's so cute. Temujin laughs. He says, that's not possible. And he gives him a golden dagger instead. Anyways, afterwards, the two kids, they meet this Taoist master. All right. Which I'm not sure who he is. Okay, I'm kind of thinking he's the original Taoist. He must be, right? But then they said he has these three ornaments on his head, which I don't think we heard that before from the previous Taoist, so I'm not sure. So they meet this Taoist, who the Taoist runs up like that he runs up that nearly like vertical cliff, and he gets the two white chicks for them. All right, and the Taoist actually trains Guo Jing for months in cultivating his internal energy. Although Guo Jing doesn't know that he's doing it. Okay? He just thinks this guy is teaching me how to breathe and stuff. And the Taoist makes Guo Jing promise not to tell his six masters about this. And Guo Jing thinks it's harmless, so he doesn't tell. And because of this training, it allows Guo Jing to progress in his martial arts training much faster. His six masters are impressed. He even tames this wild horse with a red mane in front of the Mongols, and everyone is impressed. One day, the six masters they attack Guo Jing because they suspect that he found another master because he just improved way too fast. Okay. So that happens, and then Guo Jing kind of just spills the tea. He tells them everything. He didn't know that he was being trained. And the masters, the six freaks, they realize that it's not his fault, and they tell him not to say anything, okay, and to continue training with the Taoists like normal. Yeah, and then afterwards, Guo Jing goes off to play with Hua Zheng, and that's where we left off. How's that? I don't know what Chad is talking about. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right. All right. You guys ready? Chapter 6. Decoy deployment on the cliff. Is the... Do you guys hear an echo? The speakers from the laptop might be causing an echo. Hold on. No echo? Oh. All right. Original translation by Strunf. Okay. Is this a different translator? Remaining in the Gur, the six quietly conferred with each other. This man taught a superior Negong to our Jing'er, Han Xiaoying said. He can't possibly want to hurt him. Then why doesn't he want us to know about it? Chen Jinfa asked. And why he doesn't tell to our Jing'er that it's Negong that he's teaching him? No, I can tell that this translator is not as good as the previous one. I fear that he's someone that we know, Zhu Tong said. Oh, okay, so it is. It is that Taoist, right? Someone we know? Han Xiaoying wondered. If it's not a friend, then it can only be an enemy. Amongst our friends, Chen Jinfa confirmed, no one has kung fu this exceptional. But if it is an enemy, Han Xiaoying pursued, what reason would he have to teach our Jing'er? Maybe there is a devilish plan behind it, Ke Jian'e said with a cold voice. The others froze, thinking about his words. Tonight, Zhu Tong said, Sixth brother and I will follow Jing'er discreetly to see who the expert is. The five approved. That night, Zhu Tong and Chen Jinfa hid themselves not far from Guo Jing and his mother's Gur. After a half-hour wait, they heard the young man say in a high voice, I'm going, Mom. Wait, he's not that young, right? I'm going, Mom. He left the Gur, discreetly followed by his two masters, who were surprised at the speed of his leaving. Fortunately, there weren't many obstacles on the arid plain, and they could see him from afar. Arriving at the bottom of the cliff, he climbed it without slowing down. By this time, Guo Jing had made huge progress in his lightness technique. Since he climbed the cliff every evening, he didn't need the help of the Taoist anymore, and went to the top very quickly. Zhu Tong and Chen Jinfa were more and more astonished and stood for a long time in silence until the other freaks arrived. Afraid of falling into the hands of enemies, they brought their weapons and their hidden projectiles. Zhu Tong explained that Guo Jing was already up the cliff. Han Xiaoying raised her head and saw the summit of the cliff lost in the clouds and shivered. We'll have a difficult time getting up there, she said. Let's hide in the bushes, Ke Jian'e said. We'll wait for them to come down again. The other five agreed. Han Xiaoying thought about the night 10 years ago when they fought twin killers of the dark winds. He's around 16. Wait, isn't the match between him and Yang Kang in about 2 months or something? Or did I misremember? Yeah, and the match is when they're 18, right? She and her 6 brothers hid, waiting for enemies. It was as cold a night as this one, and the wind cut to the bone. The lonely moon, the desolate hill, the swirling of sand, and the silence of the night only broken by some distant sounds. The only difference was that now she wouldn't see Jiang Ah Sheng and his always smiling face. She felt sadness in her heart. The hours passed, and they didn't notice any movement on the cliff. Day broke, and there was still no trace of Guo Jing or of his mysterious teacher. They tried looking up, but couldn't see anything. Sixth brother, Zhu Tong said. Let's see what's up there. Will we be able to climb it? Han Baoju asked. I'm not sure. We'll only know after we try. Well, even they don't think they can climb it. And Guo Jing just climbed it super easily. After running back to the Gur, he returned bringing back 2 long ropes, 2 axes, and several big nails. Chen Jinfa and Zhu Tong attached themselves to each other with the rope and began to climb. They dug some holes and planted the nails in them in order to provide sure hand and footholds. Sweating, they finally arrived on the summit. Hardly had they put their feet on the top of the cliff when they exclaimed loudly and became pale with fear. Next to a big rock, they saw 9 white skulls, perfectly stacked. 5 at the base, 3 in the middle, and 1 on the top. Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Oh no! It's not the Taoist at all! It's, what's her name? Iron Corpse. Oh no! I was fooled. It was identical to the arrangement once made by the twin killers of the Dark Winds. Examining the skulls, they saw that each also had the 5 holes in the forehead. The edges of the holes were very clean and without any breaks, as if cut with a blade. Obviously, the power of the fingers of the killer had increased considerably when compared to the ones they had seen 10 years ago. Oh god, she's even more powerful. With their hearts thumping like drums, they cautiously examined the surroundings, but saw nothing else unusual. When they climbed down to tell the others what they had seen, then they climbed down to tell the others what they had seen. Seeing the look on their faces, Han Baoju was worried. It's Mei Chao Feng, Zhu Tong said. The other 4 froze. And our Jinger? Han Xiaoying asked. They must have come down the other side, Chen Jinfa answered. Then he told them what they had seen. Who would have guessed, Kujanu sighed, that for 18 years all of our efforts only served to feed a snake amongst us. Jinger is an honest, straightforward boy and good as gold. Han Xiaoying disagreed. He would never betray us. Honest and straightforward? Kujana sneered. How could he learn those martial arts from that witch for 2 years and not tell us anything? Han Xiaoying stayed uneasily silent, not knowing what to say. Unless, Han Baoju said, a blind Mei Chao Feng wants to use Jinger to harm us? Okay, yeah, she is blind. Did we have any indication that the Taoist was blind? Maybe. Maybe we missed it. That's probably what she's planning, Zhu Tong confirmed. Yeah, if the Taoist was blind, how did he jump towards the mountain and climb up and get the eagles? Is it really Mei Chao Feng in disguise? But it must be, right? It must be. Yeah, how did he climb up the cliff and get the eagles? He couldn't have been blind. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it was the Taoist. I don't think she was in disguise. Even if Jinger has bad intentions, Han Xiaoying protested, he would never agree to betray us like that. Maybe, Chen Jinfa suggested, the witch hasn't decided when the moment to inform him has come. Okay, let's admit, Han Baoju said, that Jinger's lightness technique is good, and he has a good basis in Neigong. But what of martial arts? He is still far behind us. Why didn't the witch teach him any techniques? The witch only uses him, Kujanu explained. She doesn't want to make him good. Didn't her husband die by Jinger's hand? Yeah, I don't think. Okay, no, I don't think she's the Taoist. I think the Taoist is still that guy from before. Or not. But I think she definitely did not disguise as a Taoist. That's it. That's it, Chu Tong exclaimed. She wants us all to die by Jinger's hand, and when she will kill him, and then she will kill him. That way, full vengeance will be gained. They all shivered, struck by the logic of his reasoning. Kujanu struck the ground with his staff and quietly said, Let's go back and act as if we don't know anything. When Jinger arrives, we will eliminate him. Afterwards, when the witch arrives to train him, we will take care of her. Even though she may have become stronger than before, she can't see anything. With the 6 of us together, we should be able to get rid of her once and for all. Yeah, okay. This is just their misunderstanding. I see what's going on. Eliminate Jinger? Han Xiaoying exclaimed, frightened. And what of the challenge we made with Chu Chu Chi? Which is more important? Kujanu replied coldly. To keep our lives safe, or to go to that challenge? All remained silent. No, Nan Shiren suddenly said. We can't do it. What can't we do? Asked Han Baoju. We can't eliminate him, Nan Shiren said, shaking his head. I agree with the opinion of fourth brother, Han Xiaoying said. It's necessary to interrogate him in depth in order to not make an irreparable mistake. The problem is too serious, Chen Jinfa said. If we hesitate and show the slightest weakness, and he benefits from that to secretly betray us, what will happen to us? If we don't make the right decision, Zhu Tong said, the consequences may be terrifying. Do not forget that our adversary is Mei Chao Feng. What do you think, third brother? Kujanu asked. Han Baoju wasn't sure which way to decide, but he saw tears in the eyes of Han Xiaoying. She seemed so sad. I'll take fourth brother's side. Then he said, I won't ever be able to kill Jing-er. Thus, the 3 freaks were of the opinion to use violence on Guo Jing. The other 3 wanted a more measured approach. If fifth brother was still among us, Zhu Tong sighed, it would be possible for him to break this deadlock. You keep thinking that the guy's name is Ed Sheeran? Ed Sheeran. Hearing him mention Zhang Asheng, Han Xiaoying was heartbroken again. Holding back her tears, she quietly said, "How could we not want to avenge our fifth brother? Let's obey our elder brother's wish." Whoa. You're okay with killing him? "In that case," Kujanu said, "let's go back to the camp." Back in their gur, they stayed silent, the air of death surrounding them. That night, when Guojing arrived at the summit of the cliff, the Taoist was already there. Seeing the young man, Huh? He can see, guys. Definitely not Mei Chao Feng. Seeing the young man, he spoke to him in a low voice and showed him something next to the big rock where they usually trained. "Look!" Guojing approached and saw in the moonlight the pile of 9 skulls. He jumped back. "The twin killers of the dark winds," he said with a trembling voice. "They've come again." "You know of the twin killers of the dark winds?" the Taoist asked. The young man told him of the terrifying fights that night, in the course of which his 5th Shifu lost his life. He also told of how he frantically struck out with his knife and killed Chen Xuanfeng. The visions of that night were so vivid in his mind that he could not stop himself from shivering. When he stabbed Copper Corpse, he was very young, but the terrifying images had been engraved deeply in his memory. "Aye, Copper Corpse caused so much suffering," sighed the Taoist. "Yet he died by your hand." "My Shifus often speak of the twin killers of the dark winds. My 3rd Shifu and 7th Shifu say that Iron Corpse should be dead, but eldest Shifu always says, not for sure. For these 9 skulls to be here, Iron Corpse can't be dead." He shivered. "Did you see Mei Chao Feng?" he asked. "I arrived here not long ago," the Taoist answered, "and I immediately noticed this pile of skulls. Has Iron Corpse come here to take revenge on your Shifus and you?" "The eldest Shifu made her blind," Guojing said. "We are not afraid of her." The Taoist took a skull in his hand and carefully examined it. "This person has a kung fu of terrifying power," he said while nodding his head. "I fear that your 6 Shifus are not strong enough to face her. Even if I lend them some assistance, we still may not defeat her." He was so sure of what he was saying that Guojing was stunned. 10 years ago," he said, "she was not blind, and yet she did not succeed in defeating my 7 Shifus. Today we are 8. Will you help us in this danger or not?" "I've thought about it for a little while," the Taoist answered after a moment of silence, "but I don't understand how her fingers can be this powerful. As says the proverb, those that wish you well don't come to find you. Those that come to find you don't wish you well. Since she dares to come to take revenge, she is very sure of her chances." "What reason did she have for arranging the skulls here? Won't we be extra cautious after seeing them?" "I imagine that it must be a part of the ritual practicing the 9-yin white bone claw. Because it is so difficult to climb, she must think that no one comes to the summit of this cliff. By sheer luck, we stumbled on it." Fearing that Mei Chao Feng might already be going to fight his masters, Guojing said, "I am going to warn my Shifus." "Well thought," the Taoist approved. "Tell them that you pass on a message from a good friend. They are to keep themselves aside for a while and take time to find the best solution. There's no reason to face her needlessly." Guojing agreed, but at the very moment he was going to let himself slip down from the cliff, the Taoist grabbed him and jumped behind a large rock where they hid themselves. Guojing was going to ask him what was going on when the Taoist put his hand over his mouth. He shrank against the rock, not daring to make a move. Not daring to make a sound, only risking a quick look. A short time later, a shadow moved up the other side of the cliff. In the moonlight, long hair floated in the wind. It was Mei Chao Feng. The other side of the hill was even steeper than the cliff. Because she was blind, she probably wouldn't have noticed the difference. That was a stroke of luck, because the 6 freaks were hidden on this side. If she had come up here, she would not have failed to meet them, and they would be fighting already. Mei Chaofeng turned around suddenly. A frightened Guo Jing lowered his head quickly. Then he remembered that she was blind, and he stood up slowly. He saw that she was sitting with her legs crossed on the big rock where she trained every day. Then she began breathing exercises. He now understood that this way of breathing and mastering the breath constituted the practice of Neigong. He felt a sudden appreciation for the Taoist's teaching. A little later, he heard crackling coming from the body of Mei Chaofeng. At first, occasional, then faster and faster, just like when one grills peanuts in a wok and they explode. The noise came from the inside of her body that remained immobile. Guo Jing didn't know that it was a strange and superior form of Neigong, but he was still very impressed. The crackling lasted for a long time, then the rhythm slowed until it stopped completely. Guo Jing saw her rise slowly. Her left hand took something from her waist as she swung like a long silver snake. It startled at first. He then saw that it was a very long whip. The golden dragon whip of his Shifu Hanbaoju didn't exceed 6 feet, but this one had to be more than 20 feet long. She turned around slowly, and the light of the moon illuminated a face that still was very pretty. With her long hair and her eyes closed, she seemed sinister and frightening. In the silence, one could hear her sigh and whisper, "My bastard husband, could it be that in the hell you also think of me every day?" Holding her whip by its middle section, she quietly laughed and began to train. This whip seemed to dance in a curious way. The movements were slow and didn't make any noise. She made a stroke to the east, followed by an astounding one to the west. Every strike was more unbelievable than the last. Suddenly her hand slipped and caught the end of the whip, so that all of its length reached a big rock. It wrapped around and raised it as if it was a hand. Guo Jing was stunned by this. The whip, after flinging the rock far away, moved back towards his head. In the moonlight, he could see distinctly that the end of the whip held about 10 very sharp hooks. All right, Sal, have a good one. Guo Jing was already holding his knife. Seeing the whip coming his way, he was going to avoid the stroke without even thinking about it. Then he felt his arm go numb, and a hand pushed him to the ground. Like silvery lightning, the end of the whip passed above his head. Covered with a cold sweat, he thought, if my Taoist friend had not stopped me in time, and my knife touched him, the whip would certainly have smashed my skull. Fortunately, the Taoist did it efficiently and quietly, and Mei Chaofeng didn't notice anything. She trained for a while and then replaced the whip at her waist. From her bag, she took a piece of cloth or leather that she unfolded and spread on the ground. She touched its surface, thought, and then stood up to sketch some movements. She knelt again to feel the thing and to think again. Finally, she put it back in the bag and went away to the other side of the hill. Guo Jing sighed and stood up. "We'll follow her," the Taoist said in a low voice. "Let's see what mischievous plan she's preparing for us." He caught the young man by the belt, and the two slowly slipped down from the hill. When they reached the bottom, they saw Mei Chaofeng already far away to the north. The Taoist put his arm around Guo Jing, who immediately felt a lot lighter. and the two of them went at a great speed across the steppe, following Iron Corpse. As dawn began, they saw a camp of several score large gurs far away. Mei Chao Feng's shadow soon disappeared among them. They accelerated their pace, avoiding the sentries and patrols until they arrived at a big yellow gur. Guojing dropped to the ground and raised the flap of the gur slightly to take a look inside. He saw a man draw his large knife and strike a huge man who collapsed to the floor. As he fell, his face was in the field of vision of the Taoist and Guojing. Guojing recognized him. He was Temujin's personal bodyguard. He was stunned. How could it be that he came to be killed here? He wondered, raising the flap of the gur a little more. At this moment, the murderer turned around and Guojing recognized Sengam, the son of Ong Khan. Whoa, what? Sengam wiped the blade on his shoe's sole and said, Now you don't have any more doubts, do you? My brother Temujin is intelligent and courageous, answered the man. This plan will not be easy to achieve. Brother, oh, being betrayed. Guojing recognized him. It was Jamuka, Temujin's sworn brother. Since you like your sworn brother so much, Sengam sneered, you could go and warn him. You, Jamuka said, are also my sworn brother. Your father has treated me with kindness. I won't betray you. Besides, Temujin has ambitions of absorbing my soldiers into his army. This I know very well. It is only because of our oath of brotherhood that I haven't broken our relationship yet. Could they be plotting against Temujin? Guojing wondered. How is this possible? The one that takes the initiative always has the advantage, another man said. If you wait for him to attack you, you are lost. After the victory, all of Temujin's goods, his herds, his wives, and his treasures will come to Sengam. His men, on the other hand, will be incorporated into Jamuka's army. Accomplish that, and you will receive the title of Conqueror General of the North from the Jin Empire. Ah. Guojing could only see his back, so he crawled in a little further in order to see him better. He was clothed in a sumptuous yellow brocade tunic covered with sable. He knew the man, but he took a little time to remember his identity. Ah, yes, he's the 6th prince of the Jin Empire. Jamuka seemed convinced by his words. If my adoptive father, Ong Khan, gives me the order, he said, I will obey. Since you put it like that, a very happy Sengam said, if my father doesn't give the order, he will offend the Jin Empire. In a little while, I will ask him. He won't be able to refuse the 6th prince. Soon, Wen Yan Honglia continued, the soldiers of the empire are going to descend on the south in order to conquer the Song. At that time, each of you, at the head of 20,000 men, will be able to participate in the invasion. After the victory, other rewards will await you. I've always heard, Sengam exclaimed joyfully, that the South was a marvelous world, paved with gold, and where all women to look like flowers. If the 6th prince takes us along, it would be perfect. Nothing would be easier, Wen Yan Honglia said, smiling. I only fear that there might be too many beautiful women in the South, and you won't see all of them. They exploded in laughter. Ha 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 ha. Now, pursued the prince, tell me how you intend to take care of Temujin. In fact, I already asked him to help us to destroy the Song, but he refused. He's a clever man. We can't give him any reasons to doubt us. That is why we need to double our precautions. At that moment, Guojing felt the Taoist pull him by the sleeve. He turned around and saw Mei Chao Feng a little ways off. She had caught someone and seemed to be questioning him. Whatever this witch's intentions, he thought, my Shifus aren't threatened for now. First, I'm going to find out more about the plot against the Khan, and then decide what to do. Then he turned again to the Gur. He promised his daughter to my son, Sengam said, while looking at the body on the floor, and I sent an emissary to agree to the date of the marriage. I'll ask him to come here to confer with my father. He will surely come without much of an escort. I will place some men in ambush along the way. Even if he had 3 heads and 6 arms, he won't escape here alive. He exploded in laughter. Jamuka said, as soon as Temujin is eliminated, our armies will invade his camp. Guojing was filled with anger and concern. How could the man's heart be so cruel, even to the point of plotting against his sworn brother? He was about to listen again, but the Taoist pulled him out by his waist. He moved back and was lightly touched by Mei Chao Feng, who was leaving very quickly, holding someone by the neck. The Taoist took Guojing by the hand, and the two moved away from the Gurs. She's trying to find out where your Shifus are, the Taoist said in a low voice. We must go there immediately, otherwise it will be too late. The two used their lightness technique and ran briskly. When they arrived at the Gur of the 6 freaks, it was already close to noon. The Taoist said, I didn't want to be seen. That is why I ordered you not to say anything about me to your Shifus. But now there is an emergency, and I cannot worry about such details any longer. Go to them and say that Ma Yu of the Chenjin sect asks to see the 6 valiant heroes of Jiangnan. Okay. He's another Taoist from the same sect. Not the same one. That's why he has like the 3 ornaments on his hair that the other guy didn't. Apparently, this sect has more Taoist people. It's almost like they're a sect of Taoists. For 2 years, Guojing had seen him every evening, but it was only at this moment that he learned his name. Without knowing who precisely this character Ma Yu of the Chenjin sect was, he obeyed and ran in the Gur, shouting, Eldest Shifu! As soon as he entered, his wrists were clutched brutally, and he felt a sharp pain in his knees that made him fall to the floor. He saw that it was his eldest Shifu, Ke Zhen-e, who had knocked him down with his heavy iron staff. Oh no. Completely terrified, he didn't even try to struggle or defend himself. He closed his eyes and waited for death. He heard the clank of 2 weapons clashing, and then felt someone throw themselves over him. He opened his eyes and saw his 7th Shifu, Han Xiaoying, protecting him with her body, while shouting, Older brother! One moment, please! Her sword, with which she had blocked the stroke, had flown away. Ke Zhen-e sighed and thrust his staff down heavily on the floor. 7th sister has always had too tender a heart. Guojing then realized that Zhu Tong and Chen Jinfa had seized his wrists. He didn't understand anything anymore. Where is the person who teaches you Neigong? Ke Zhen-e asked with severity. Guojing stammered. He is there, outside. He asks to see you. Taoist at Mei Chao Feng's coming to find them in daylight, the 6 freaks hurried outside, weapons in hand. But all they saw was a white-haired Taoist, hands joined in salute. There was no Mei Chao Feng. Where is the witch, Mei Chao Feng? Zhu Tong shouted, without releasing Guo Jing's wrist. I first saw her last night, the Taoist answered. I fear that she may come soon. The 6 looked at Ma Yu with puzzlement. He advanced briskly and greeted them. For a long time, I've admired the 6 valiant heroes of Jiangnan. Today, I finally meet them. It is a huge honor for me. Zhu Tong, still holding Guo Jing, nodded his head in answer to the salute and said, We don't dare to ask for the respected name of the Taoist master. Guo Jing remembered that he had not announced the visitor and hastened to say, He's Ma Yu of the Chenjin sect. The 6 freaks were hugely surprised. They knew that Ma Yu, who had the nickname Scarlet Sun, was the first disciple of the founder of the Chenjin sect, Wang Chongyang. After the death of the founder, Ma Yu became the elder master of the sect. He's the leader? Chu Ji, Eternal Spring, was his younger martial brother. Since he usually lived a reclusive life in the temple, dedicating himself to meditation, he hardly ever set foot in the rivers and the lakes region in Jianghu. For this reason, his reputation in the world of martial arts didn't equal Chu Ji's. As for the power of his kung fu, no one had ever seen him in action and could not judge how strong he was. All right. I think this is a good time for a break. I will be right back. All right, we are back. We meet the elder master of the Chenjin sect, Ku Zhenhe said. We are much honored. What brings the Taoist master up into the steppe of the north? Does it relate to the competition in Jiaxing and our challenge with your martial brother? My impetuous younger brother, when he should be dedicating himself to the practice of the way, likes to duel with others. He often tries to win and impose his viewpoint. That is quite contrary to our principles. I've reprimanded him in time and time again about this. I don't have any intention of interfering in his bet with you, the 6 valiant heroes, since it doesn't have anything to do with me. 2 years ago, I met this child by chance. Finding him to have a pure and good heart, I took the liberty of teaching him some ritual formula to fortify his body and to feed his character. This also has the virtue of encouraging longevity. It is true that I took this initiative without having asked for approval from the 6 valiant heroes beforehand. I hope they won't be angry because of it. So did he just happen to meet Guo Jing? Just happen to meet? It's kind of a coincidence, isn't it? I didn't teach him any martial techniques, and we don't have a master-disciple relationship. We could say that I merely made myself a young friend, and that we never broke any rules of the martial world. After saying this, he smiled warmly. The 6 were very surprised and could only accept his explanation. Zhu Tong and Chen Jinfa then released Guo Jing's wrists. Wait, so why was Yang Kang there? Wait, Yang Kang was never there. It was Yang Kang's younger martial brother? So my pupil, a happy Han Xiaoying said, it was the senior Taoist who gave you some lessons. Why didn't you tell us about him earlier? We judged you wrongly. She tenderly patted him on the shoulder. Guo Jing stammered. It was him who told me not to say anything. How can you say him? Han Xiaoying reprimanded. Jing that is very disrespectful. You need to say senior Taoist. She scolded him, but her happy face showed her true feelings. Yes, Guo Jing agreed submissively. The senior Taoist. For 2 years, he always treated Ma Yu on equal terms, without having ever thought to speak with him in the third person as a sign of respect. Ma Yu had never taken offense. I travel like a cloud, Ma Yu said. without a schedule or final destination, and I don't like to impose on others. That is why, even though I was a neighbor, I didn't come to greet you. I ask you again to forgive me." He saluted again. In fact, after discovering the circumstances behind the journey of the six freaks to Mongolia, he felt great admiration for them. He interrogated Yin Ji-ping, who confirmed that Guo Jing didn't have any Neigong. As a senior of the Qianzhen sect, he knew perfectly the principles of Taoism. He didn't want Chu Chuji to impose this challenge on the six freaks. He tried to convince his martial brother repeatedly, but Chu would not hear of it. At last resort, he came to the step to try to help Guo Jing without telling anyone. Otherwise, how could he have met the child by accident in the immensity of the northern plain? What other reason would he have for dedicating 2 years of his life to give Guo Jing this precious instruction? If Mei Chaofeng had not re-emerged unexpectedly, he would have discreetly left for the south, once assured that Guo Jing's Neigong foundations were well established. The result would have been that neither the six freaks nor Chu Chuchi would have suspected anything. For displaying so much nobility and humility, which contrasted with the bravery and contrived arrogance of his martial brother, the six bowed and saluted him. They were going to ask him about Mei Chaofeng when they heard the sound of horses galloping. They saw several riders heading towards Temujin's large gur. Guo Jing realized that it was Sengem's emissaries who had come to entice him into a trap. He began to panic. "Senior Shifu," he said to Kujanu, "it is necessary that I leave for a short time." Kujanu had almost seriously injured him a while ago and regretted it. He felt even more protective of this disciple and feared he'd meet Mei Chaofeng if he left. Therefore he said, "No, you remain close to us." Guo Jing was going to explain to him why he had to leave, but Kujanu had begun to discuss the titanic fight against the twin killers of the Dark Winds with Ma Yu. In spite of his anguish, the young man didn't dare to interrupt his senior Shifu, who got angry for the smallest of reasons. He hoped to be able to benefit from a pause in their conversation to explain the urgency of the situation. Suddenly, a horse arrived at a gallop. The rider was Hua Zheng, wearing a short jacket of black fox fur. She stopped 10 feet away, making signals. Fearing punishment from his Shifus, Guo Jing didn't dare to move away, but signaled her to approach. The girl had red, swollen eyes, as if she had cried a lot. "Dad," she said while sobbing, "wants me to go marry that Duksh." "Quickly," Guo Jing said, "go warn the Khan that Sengam and Jamuka have prepared a trap and want to kill him." Is that true?" Hua Zheng asked, stunned. "Absolutely true," answered Guo Jing. "I heard it with my own ears. Go warn your father quickly." "Okay," Hua Zheng agreed. With a face filled with joy, she got back on her horse and left at a great speed. So joyous, someone's going to kill my dad. So happy. Someone wants to murder the Khan and you seem happy? Guo Jing wondered. Then he understood. She would not have to marry Duksh. He cared for the girl like a sister and had always protected her. He had wondered if she was going to be able to avoid this disgraceful marriage. Now he was delighted for her, and he smiled. "I don't mean to glorify the enemy or to belittle us," Ma Yu said, "but Mei Chaofeng knows the essence of the senior of Peach Blossom Island's teachings. Her 9-yin white bone claw is practically invincible, and the strokes of her silver whip of 2 zhangs nearly unstoppable. If we unite our strength, we may not lose, but we certainly won't defeat her without suffering some harm." "That woman is dangerously effective," Han Xiaoying said, but we, the 6 freaks of Jiangnan, avow her an implacable hate. Someone told me, Ma Yu said, that your 5th brother, Zhang the Valiant Knight, as well as Divine Dragon soaring through the sky, the Valiant Ke, had both been killed by Chen Chuan Feng. But since you killed Copper Corpse, one could consider that the debt has been paid. As the ancients say, it is better to unknot a hate than to tie it. Mei Chao Feng is a lone woman affected by a serious handicap and deserves some pity. The 6 stayed silent for some time. She's mastered this perverse and dangerous technique, Han Baoju said, that will cause the deaths of innumerable innocents. Senior Taoist, even though you are moved by compassion, you can't let her go with impunity. This time, Zhu Tong said, she came looking for us, and not the opposite. She came looking for us, and not the opposite. And even if we avoid it this time, Chen Jinfa said, if she wants to take vengeance on us, we will never be safe. I've thought of a small stratagem, Ma Yu said, but it is necessary that the 6 valiant heroes be magnanimous and have mercy on this poor wretch. Let her have the possibility of redemption. Zhu Tong didn't want to speak, letting Ke Jian-e make the decision. We, the 7 freaks of Jiangnan, Ke said, have a coarse and direct temperament. We only know how to fight the barbaric ones. If the senior Taoist wants to show us a path, we would be very thankful. You only have to speak. From listening to Ma Yu, he understood that during these past 10 years, Mei Chao Feng had made considerable progress. It appeared that the Taoist was trying to save the life of Iron Corpse, but in reality, he was trying to save the face of the 6 freaks. His real intention was to show them a way to escape the terrifying claws of Mei. The other freaks thought that their senior brother had become merciful and were astonished. By showing mercy, senior brother Ke, Ma Yu said, you will receive the blessings of the heavens. There is something else that is very important. According to my inquiries, during these past 10 years, Mei Chao Feng received more of the teachings of Huang Yaoxi, the alchemist. Huang Yaoxi. But they say, Zhu Tong wondered, that the twin killers of the dark winds were renegade disciples of the Peach Blossom Island Senior. How would Huang Yaoxi justify teaching her again? This is what I also believed, Ma Yu said. But according to the description of the fight you had, her kung fu was much lower than what she displays today. If she didn't receive the instruction of an illuminated senior, it would be impossible for her, training alone, to arrive at her present level. If so, and if we kill Iron Corpse today, we risk Huang's anger. Ke Jian-e and Zhu Tong had already heard of the kung fu of Huang Yaoxi, often in such exaggerated terms that they had difficulty believing in the man's power. The Qianzhen sect represented the orthodox martial arts. If Ma Yu felt fear regarding Huang, it was definitely something to take into account. The senior Taoist thinks of everything, Zhu Tong said. We can only be filled with admiration. Please, make us part of your undoubtedly wise plan. This miserable plan, I like that, Ma Yu said, may appear a little snobbish, I'm afraid. I ask the 6 valiant heroes not to laugh at it. The senior Taoist is too modest, Zhu Tong said. The reputations of the 7 disciples of Wang Chongyang are so well established that the admiration is general in the martial realm. Zhu Tong felt a genuine respect for Ma Yu. Indeed, he would not hold such respect for Chu Chu Ji, who was also one of the 7 masters of Chen Jun. Thanks to the virtues of our deceased founder, Ma Yu said, the 7 martial brothers benefit from a small reputation in the world of martial arts. I think that Mei Chao Feng would not dare to come against us alone. This is why I thought of a ruse to make her leave, based on the belief in our vain reputation. This stratagem lacks nobility, but since our intention is good, the end justifies the means, and it won't harm the reputations of the 6 valiant heroes. He then explained the deception. The 6 freaks... Oh, we don't get to hear. The 6 freaks found it rather depreciating. They thought to themselves that even though Mei Chao Feng had made great progress, and even if Huang Yaoshi came in person, what would they risk? At most, they would lose their lives, as Zhang Asheng had 10 years before. Ma Yu undertook to convince them. Finally, the 6 freaks, out of respect for him and recognition for everything he had done for Guojing, accepted. After having shared some refreshments, they moved towards the cliff. Ma Yu and Guojing undertook the climb ahead of them. The 6 noticed that the Taoist didn't try to show off his skills as he slowly climbed behind Guojing, but his steps were firm and his movements displayed great stability, showing the power of his kung fu. He is certainly not weaker than Chu Chu Ji, so why is Chu's reputation so great, whereas one hears practically nothing about Ma Yu? The explanation must be their difference in character. Arriving at the top, Ma Yu and Guojing dropped long ropes, and then pulled the 6 to the summit. There on the rocks they could examine the traces left by Mei Chao Feng's whip. They were stunned, and finally believed Ma Yu's words. The 8 sat down and waited. Night had fallen, and it was already late. Han Baoju began to lose patience. How come she's so late? Quiet, Ku Zhen'e urged. There she is. They all listened carefully, without hearing anything. Only Ku Zhen'e, with his incredibly developed hearing, had discerned the footsteps of Iron Corpse, while she was still several li away. But she was coming. They saw, in the moonlight, a blurred black shadow that approached at a very quick pace. In the blink of an eye, she'd reached the foot of the cliff, and she began to climb with agility. Zhu Tong exchanged a glance with Chen Jinfa and Han Xiaoying. He saw that their faces were pale and full of anguish. He thought that his must look the same. Very quickly, Mei Chao Feng reached the summit. She carried on her back someone who wasn't moving, and they couldn't tell if the person was alive or already dead. Guojing had the impression that this person wore clothing that was familiar to him. Now, who could it be? He watched more attentively and recognized Hua Zheng's short black fox jacket. Oh shit. Alarmed, he was going to call out when Zhu Tong, with the quick eyes and fast moves, put his hand over his mouth while saying in a high voice, That vicious witch, Mei Chao Feng, if she falls into my hands, I, Chu Chu Chi, won't let her escape. Oh wait, he was saying that out loud. Surprised at hearing a voice on the summit, Iron Corpse was even more astonished to hear the name Chu Chu Ji and her own. She hid behind a rock to listen to the conversation. Ma Yu and the 6 freaks clearly saw her intentions and, in spite of the tension, wanted to laugh. Only Guojing, worried about the safety of Hua Zheng, trembled with anguish. Mei Chao Feng arranged these skulls here, Han Baoju said. She is certainly going to come, and we only have to wait for her. Not knowing how many powerful enemies were gathered in this place, she remained immobile behind the rock. She certainly caused us a lot of pain, but the Chen sect is always compassionate and merciful towards others. Let's give her the option of repenting. The Sage of Tranquility has always had a tender heart, Zhu Tong said while laughing. It's not surprising that Master always said that you can reach the way easily. Wang Chongyang, the founder of the Chenjun sect, had 7 disciples whose reputations were well established in the world of martial arts. The first in rank was Ma Yu, called Scarlet Sun. The second, Ten Chu Duen, called Eternal Truth, followed by Liu Chu Xuan, called Eternal Life, Qiu Chu Ji, called Eternal Spring, Wang Chu Yi, called Jade Sun, Hao Da Tong, called Infinite Peace, and finally the last disciple, Sun Bu was called Sage of Tranquility, and had been the wife of Ma Yu before she entered the Taoist religion. Brother Tan, Han Xiaoying asked, what do you think about it? Her crimes deserve an extreme punishment, replied Nan Qiren. Brother Tan, Zhu Tong said, of late you've made much progress in your technique, the finger calligrapher. When this evil one arrives, will you give us a demonstration? It's better to let Brother Wang show his technique of the foot of iron, Nan Qiren said. One kick and he will send her down the cliff, where she will lose both body and soul. Among the 7 masters of the Chen sect, Qiu Chu Ji was the most well-known. Then came Wang Chu Yi, Jade Sun. Once, on a bet, he stood close to an abyss on one foot, swaying back and forth in a violent wind that blew his large sleeves wildly. Several heroes of Shandong and Hebei watched this event and were astounded. This exploit earned him the nickname of Foot of Iron. He had lived as a recluse in an underground cave for 9 years, dedicating himself to the practice of martial arts. Even Qiu Chu Ji appeared to much admire his kung fu. He had dedicated a poem to him, in which he told of the 9 summers standing in the sun, 3 winters laying down in the snow, celebrating the power of his Negong. All of this conversation between them had been studied in advance. Only Ku Zhen-e, who had previously spoken to the twin killers of the Dark Winds, remained silent, so that Mei Chaofeng wouldn't recognize him by his voice. Iron Corpse was more and more astonished. Apparently, the 7 masters of the Chen sect are here. I am not really certain of being able to defeat a single Taoist. How would I withstand the 7 united? If they discover me, I am dead. At that moment, the moon illuminated the summit clearly. Zhu Tong said, This night, black clouds cover the sky. One can't even see the fingers of his hand. Everybody be watchful so that the witch doesn't take advantage of the darkness to escape. It's a good thing that this is a black night, Mei Chaofeng reassured herself. Otherwise, they would have discovered me already. I give thanks to the heaven and earth, so long as the moon doesn't appear. Guo Jing had not stopped looking at Hua Zheng. He suddenly saw that she had opened her eyes. Delighted to see her regain consciousness, he made signals with his hands, hoping that she would remain calm. However, the girl had also seen him and yelled, Help! Help! Oh no! Don't say anything! Guo Jing shouted. Oh no! It's all ruined, guys. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong. These shouts surprised Mei Chaofeng. She immediately pushed a finger onto one particular point on Hua Zhang's body, which made the girl mute, but suspicions were roused in her mind. Jiping, Zhu Tong said, was that you that spoke? Indeed, Guo Jing was supposed to play the role of the young Taoist Yin Jiping. Yes, it was me. I believe, Zhu Tong said, that I heard a woman's voice. Precisely, confirmed Guo Jing. If this is a trap, Mei Chaofeng thought, it is likely that the 7 masters of the Qianzhen sect would be together on the step and on the... Wait. She's asking, is it likely that the 7 masters of the Qianzhen sect would be together on the step and on the summit of this cliff? What a coincidence that would be. Maybe someone is trying to deceive me and take advantage of my blindness. Ma Yu saw her slowly standing up behind her rock and understood that she had become suspicious. If she discovered the scheme and immediately went on the attack, he himself probably wouldn't risk much, but Hua Zheng would certainly die, and the 6 freaks would, without a doubt, suffer some injuries. He was therefore quite upset. He'd never had a quick mind, and he didn't know what to do. Seeing Mei Chaofeng with her long silver whip in hand, seeming about to attack, Zhu Tong hastened to say, Senior brother, for all these years you've practiced the most sophisticated techniques taught by our founder. You must have gotten extraordinary results. Would you demonstrate it for us? Ma Yu knew that Zhu Tong was asking him to show the power of his kung fu in order to impress Mei Chaofeng. I am certainly the eldest of our brothers, he then said, but my slow nature makes me less capable than you. The formulas transmitted by our founder, I am ashamed to say, I hardly understood a sentence of it. He pronounced each of his words very slowly, while feeding them his breath fully. The tone was quiet and humble, but the voice carried very far. He had not finished pronouncing his last words when the echo of the first came back with the winds, like the growls of tiger and the screams of dragons. Witnessing this demonstration of extraordinarily powerful Neigong, Mei Chaofeng, impressed, lowered herself slowly behind her rock. I have heard, Ma Yu said, that this woman has lost her mind, and that she is worthy of pity. If she repents her past sins, if she promises to no longer harm the innocent, we might be merciful. Should she also promise that she will not trouble the 6 freaks of Jiangnan, then we could let her continue to live because of our departed master's respectful relations with the master of Peach Blossom Island. Brother Chu, you are the friend of the 6. You should speak to them and ask them to no longer seek a reckoning with her. If both parties make an effort, the vendetta can extinguish itself. This time he spoke without using his internal energy, so that there did not appear to be such a great power difference between himself and the others. That will be easy, Zhu Tong replied. But the real problem is knowing whether or not Mei Chaofeng will agree to redeem herself. Suddenly they heard an icy voice. Many thanks to the Qianzhen 7 for their benevolence. I, Mei Chaofeng, am here. Yeah. And I think we can stop there. How did you guys like the chapter? How did you guys like the chapter, guys? That was fast. I think this chapter is smaller than the other ones, I think. Yeah. All right. Okay, at least we found out who the Taoist is. Okay. Apparently, there are other Taoists in the story, guys. There's not just like one or two. Ma Yu. I like this guy. This guy seems like a pretty chill dude. That was fast. Oh, you mean her falling for it? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, true. Would she really forgive the people who killed her husband? Not so sure, guys. Drink? Oh, sorry, I didn't prepare a drink today either. No. Oh, and we also found out this Peach Blossom Island. Okay. So apparently there's someone who lives on this Peach Blossom Island, or maybe there's a sect there. Okay, and the senior there is pretty powerful. And he seemed to have been the teacher of the Iron Corps and Copper Corps. Sober, eh? Sober, yay. Yeah. What else did we find out? Oh, we found out that, man, Guo Jing is powerful now. His internal energy is pretty good. He can climb that mountain no problem. While his masters, his 6 freaks masters had to they had trouble climbing up that cliff. Is that the same islands from the semi devils? I don't think so. Yeah, in 2 years, his internal energy increased that much. All right. Okay, next chapter should be a pretty good one. It seems like. We'll see what happens between Mei Chaofeng and this group. I don't think things are going to go well, but we'll see. And we still have the match between Guojing and Yang Kang in like 2 months or so. That should be good too. It's building up, yeah. Seems like they need to learn how to breathe too. Man, this guy should teach the 6 freaks. They'll be super powerful, wouldn't they? Yeah, it only takes like what, 2 years. It took Guojing 2 years. But the 6 freaks, it should take them even less than that. Why doesn't Ma Yu just teach them? Then they can fight Mei Chaofeng too. All right. Yeah. Next chapter should be good. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Okay. I love you, and I will see you next time. All right. Bye.